I mean, watching her, watching how she.
Oh God, testing. Testing.
Testing.
Can you hear me? Testing. 1 2 1 2. I see two shadow watchers. Can you let me know if you can hear me or not? If you don't mind coming out of the shadows. Hey, Mike Love. Thank you very much. I should know you gonna be here. I really appreciate you. First of all, is my music okay? Is it too loud or is it just right? Do I need to turn my mic up a little bit? Could someone let me know? I want to say shout out. Today's music is from 1000 Watts Radio. It's a little loud. Okay. I'm going to turn. Okay, I turned my mic up. Should I turn my mic down and um, turn the music? Let me turn the music down. Okay, Mike, how about this? How about the music now? Is the music okay now? It can be a little louder. Okay. Is that good? Oh, I pressed the pause button. I'm gonna turn my mic back down because I did turn my mic up. Okay. I'm gonna turn my mic down some. Turn it up a little more. Okay. Is that better? Let's turn my mic down a little bit. Now off, down. How about that? Is that better, Mike? Oh, you can't hear the music? Wow. I wonder why it's loud to me. Hold on. Maybe my headphones are loud. How about now? Let me see. You can't hear the music? You still can't hear it? Let me see what's up with this. Give me a minute. Okay, what about now? Can you hear it now? Is it is the volume okay? Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And that music a little lower, lower it some. Okay, I'll turn it down some. Let me see. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. How is it now? Is it okay now, or do it need to be a little lower? Mic lower? Okay. Let's see. Let me go back to that, okay? And what about now, Mike? How does my mic sound now? Does my mic sound okay, Mike? Louder? Okay. How about now? my mic. How's it sounding now? Is that better? Okay, I'll keep it right there. We're gonna get it. Hey Jay Tillman, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm coming. Let me get to my chapter. Let's see what type of shenanigans Pamela and Peter are up to today. I think I was on page 264. I'm waiting for it to load. Y'all know yesterday, Jack walked in Pamela and Lucy. Lucy is the handmaiden of the house. And then after Jack left, Pamela and Lucy were still in the library. And Peter walked in on them. And again, today's music is from 1000 Watts Radio. Yesterday's music was from Jay Tillman. Y'all know Jay, he's always in here. That 3 for 6. Thank you very much for showing up again. I appreciate you. So I thought we were at 19. We're at 17. Yesterday, Peter. It seems like Jack and Peter planned it that way. No, Jack did. I think Jack planned it that way. Remember, Peter came home early from court. Jack left just in time before Peter came home. But then you never know. Well, they don't have cell phones. They didn't have cell phones back then. I'm here. Jay Tillman said he got his ruler. We're about to start chapter 17. I really appreciate all you guys dropping in on me. During the winter months, Pamela's days were full. Peter gave her carte blanche to decorate as she saw fit. More than anything, she wanted cheerful wallpaper. The choices Peter made years before reflected a dreary masculine sensibility. For the dining room, she selected tea rose wallpaper with brown, green, and copper on ivy. She did her bedroom in satin wallpaper with small. Y'all don't hear an echo through y'all. Check one. Excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta get better at this. I did the latency. I hit the latency for no latency. Press 1. I want to see how if there's still a lag. Okay, I think it's like a slight lag. Press 1 again. 1, 2. Okay. It's not as bad as it was. And y'all don't laugh at me, but does anyone in the chat use OBS? Cause I can't remember how to put the words from the chat on the screen again. Don't y'all laugh at me. Yeah, it's still. What you talking about? Cree finger. She overworked that finger, child. That's what happened. Typing too much, clickety clack. I know. During the winter months, Pamela's days were full. Peter gave her carte blanche to decorate as she saw fit. More than anything, she wanted cheerful wallpaper. The choices Peter made years before reflected a dreary masculine sensibility. For the dining room, she selected tea rose wallpaper with brown, green, and copper on ivy. She did her bedroom in satin wallpaper with small flowers in burgundy, plum, and gold. With some searching, she found a carpenter willing to build a canopy for her bed. She covered it with deep rose material and had curtains made to match. After reminding Peter that she would soon be sharing the master bedroom, he reluctantly agreed to let her redo his room in a lovely cream damask stripe. Room by room, she went through the house. She replaced or added furniture where needed. In the end, Peter's house became happier and a brighter home because of her presence and her hand. She also spent time with May, learning how to properly run the household. May insisted, I can't see y'all. May insisted that the lady of the house she had to know everything, including how to cook. Pamela had never been fond of cooking. With May's patience and humor, she actually enjoyed learning. When Peter heard Pamela would be cooking the Easter dinner meal, he offered to have the food brought in, thinking May had taken ill. Pamela assured him May was as fit as a fiddle. Yeah, I know CIP give me classes, but I should have wrote. He gave me a class. I didn't write everything down. Next time he has time, I'll be sure to pull out my handy dandy notebook. With some trepidation and considerable teasing about the possibility of food poisoning, Peter sat at the Easter table after his third helping of candied ham, scalloped potatoes. He admitted that Pamela had learned to cook a decent meal. Now, as they approached the end of the Easter tide, Peter's birthday on the 28th of May would be upon her in a few days. She wanted to surprise him with something. Y'all, I gotta, hold on. Yeah. I gotta make this bigger. Larger. Can't turn it. What she didn't know, a party would be out of the question because of their unorthodox living situation. They avoided entertaining and selectively received only a few individuals who wished to call. Once they were married, that would change. But for now, Peter preferred their privacy to be maintained. Pamela sighed. A surprise party for Peter would be delightful. Perhaps she could manage it next year, when surely they would be married. The Parliament had taken the Married Women's Property Act under advisement. Peter had championed the cause, courting votes whenever he could. He cautioned Pamela that the final vote might not take place for some months. As these debates were ongoing, he already had revisions to the original bill proposed by Richard Pankhurst. That left her with the problem. What do what to do for Peter's birthday? She had never been home for it. Her school year ending late June. She had never been home for it. Her school year ending later in June. This being Peter's first year to celebrate with him. This being the first year to celebrate with him. She wanted it to be memorable. Pamela found Lucy changing the bed linens in Peter's room. Oh, there you are. Yes, Miss Pamela, here I am. Where would you expect me to be? One never knows with you, Miss Lucy. Since Christmas, Pamela and Lucy tended towards considerably less formality when alone. Okay. No, back. Pamela studied the volumes of paper on the desk as she worked closer to the ledgers for the year. She had been poring over books for a few months now, since the day after the Epiphany. Peter usually did it, working on her accounts along with his own during the evenings. This year, Peter agreed to let her give it a go. Not only did she want to learn how to manage her household holdings, but she wanted time with Peter at night. She volunteered to review the ledgers and balances during the day. Much to her surprise, he turned the project over to her. He would answer her questions, but he did not interfere with her labors. His attitude towards her changed since her birthday. The bond between them deepened. Not only had their intimacies intensified, but their conversations and their closeness had as well. Over dinner, he would discuss points of law. If something were troubling him from this day, he would ask her advice. Having discovered her reading the legal journals one day, he inquired about her interests. When he realized she harbored a secret desire to study law, he tutored her. The February wind rattled through the library window, feeling a draught. He wrapped a shawl around her shoulders. The fire had burned low and the library had chilled. It would be. Hold on, y'all, don't kill me. All right, y'all, my paper's turn. I'm sorry, my page is turn. This this online book is a mess. We back to the Parliament had taken the Married Women's Property Act under advisement. Peter had championed the cause, courting votes whenever possible. He cautioned Pamela that the final vote might not take place for months. As the debates were ongoing, already revisions had been made to the original proposed bill by Richard Pankhurst. That left her with one problem: what to do for Peter's birthday. She had never been home for it, her school year ending in late June. This being, see, it just turned again. Okay. This being the first year to celebrate with him, she wanted it to be memorable. Pamela found Lucy changing the bed linens in Peter's room. Oh, there you are. Yes, Miss Pamela, here I am. Where would you expect me to be? Oh, one never knows with you, Miss Lucy. Since Christmas, Pamela and Lucy tended toward considerably less formality when alone. Mike, you already know. Mike and Jay, you already know why they can't be alone. Lucy giggled. What do you want from me, miss? I want to know, what does Peter do on his birthday? Do you have any idea? Lucy continued making up the bed. He's never home on his birthday, miss. Jack takes him someplace every year. They always get home late. Lucy continued to make up the bed. He's never home on his birthday, miss? No. Do you know where they go? No, miss. Jack never said. When Jack comes back from taking the mister to Chambers, you might do well to ask him. Thank you, Lucy. Certainly, miss. Pamela went back to her room and considered the possibilities. It seemed unlikely Peter would have celebrated with Constance. It also seemed equally unlikely that he would have gone to his club. Then it hit her. Of course, he most probably went to Nellie's. When Jack returned, Pamela concerned him Pamela concerned about him. She walked into the dining room. Jack, I have a problem. I hope you can help me solve anything, Miss Pamela. What do you need? Master Renner's birthday is on Saturday. I asked Lucy what he usually does during his birthday. She did not know. I thought perhaps you might know. Jack watched him closely, waiting to see his reaction. Jack hedged, already confirming her suspicion. Miss, I really can't say. You take him to Nellie's, don't you? Jack shifted uncomfortably. Miss, I am sure the governor will be spending his birthday with you this year. Oh, but Jack, you missed my point in asking. I want to surprise Peter with a present. What better surprise than to take him to Nellie's again? Miss Pamela, you have that devil look in your eyes. Don't you be getting no ideas about going there. Too late, Jack. I already got them. Bring the carriage around to the gate. I'll be calling Nellie today. Y'all know who Nellie is, right? Y'all remember Nellie is the lady who ran the brothel. That's the lady that Pamela's dad was engaged with after her mom died. And she used to see Jack also. Not Jack. Peter. Oh, I'm sorry. Go Cree. Try it again. Type something, Cree, and then try it again if you're checking on the latency. Okay, 5. Okay, go Cree. I'm gonna count down, and when I say 1, then you type 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Cree, you gotta type again now. Let me count down to 1 and you type something. You put a 1 in the chat, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm just seeing it. So there still is a little latency. Miss Pamela, the governor told you not to go there. I agree with him. That ain't no place for a lady. Jack, we've been through this before. I'm going. Either you will take me or I'll call a handsome cab. But I am going. Jack ran his fingers through his hair. A sure sign that she had bested him. Miss Pamela, don't do this. Jack, I swear you to secrecy. I won't plan a surprise for his birthday, Peter's birthday. If you tell him where I went today, it will all be ruined. He'll be surprised, all right? Then he will be mad as hell. Jack shook his head and went to fetch the carriage. Pamela had not seen Nellie since the first day they met, nearly a year ago. During that time, she had reread Nellie's letters at least a dozen times. Peter still refused to read them, saying they were a private communication that he had no right to see. Pamela suspected the reason went deeper than that. Nellie's personal correspondence with Sir George spoke of love and relationship that lasted for years. They showed Nellie to be a woman capable of profound feeling. Peter deliberately distanced himself from such things. Good afternoon from the Black Couch. Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Please hit that like button. Pamela suspected the reason went deeper than that. Nellie's personal correspondence with Sir George spoke of love and the relationship that lasted for years. They showed Nellie to be a bit woman capable of profound feelings. Peter deliberately distanced himself from such of things. As far as Pamela knew, Peter had not been back to Nellie's tavern since the day he met her at the train last June. Considering he now had Pamela, the need to seek release at Nellie's had all but disappeared. However, Nellie had been Peter's concubine for many years. She had also offered him a friendship and solace when he had no one else. Whether Peter accepted it or not, Nellie was important. Nellie was an important part of his past. Pamela wanted to understand that past. When Jack stopped the carriage in front of Nellie's, he didn't bother opening the door for Pamela. He immediately ran around the back door to find Henry. It is still morning. Nellie's tavern showed no signs of life. Pamela let herself out, lifting her skirt to avoid dragging it on the muddy street. She quietly waited at the front door. Jack came around to where she stood a few minutes later. Miss Pamela, I expected you to wait in the carriage. You shouldn't be standing in the doorway. Good Lord, Jack. We are alone on the street. What the devil do you think will happen to me? Just then Nellie opened the door. Bonjour, Mademoiselle Kingston. Bonjour, Madame. How very good is it to see you again? You are looking well. Etovos, please, won't you come in? Pamela turned to Jack. Could you please wait at the carriage, Jack? I shouldn't be long. Certainly, miss. Pamela followed Nellie inside. And what do I owe you the pleasure of this early morning visit, Pamela? I have a favor to ask, Nellie. Sacre bleu. What could I possibly do for you, Pamela? More than you think, Nellie. Once again, Pamela found herself entranced by the handsome woman. Hey, Top Pro. Thank you very much for stopping. And, oh, Lord. Jay Tillman. Mike Love, don't tell me Nelly gonna do the horizontal boogie with, not Nelly. Pamela want Nelly now. She's lusting for Nelly. It seemed inconceivable that she had intimate relations with both her father and with Peter. The undeniable truth of their history together still rocked Pamela to the core. She desperately wanted to experience some of what the father and Peter had shared with Nellie. Here we go, Mike. Here we go, Mike Love. Pamela got some problems. She a nympho. She from the black couch, you here for the shenanigans. Silva's plot. Tell me, ma chérie, what do you need? Saturday is Peter's birthday. Ah, yes, it is. If my memory serves me, it will mark his 36th year. You remember well, Nellie. Pamela gathered herself, preparing to make now what seemed to be an outrageous request. She hedged. First, let me tell you, Peter and I are engaged to be married. C'est magnifique. Nellie kissed Pamela on both cheeks and then hugged her. For many years I have waited to hear this news. The genuine warmth and affection she felt flowing from Nellie filled Pamela. She returned the embrace. Thank you. Nellie, tears slid down her face as she said, "It feels as though Papa is pleased knowing you have your blessing. Ma petite, my blessing counts for a little. It is your happiness Sir George will want to see." Nellie's eyes also shone with tears. She quickly wiped them away. "Might I offer you a cup of tea? I recall you finding it calming." "Yes, thank you. A cup of tea would be quite fine." Nellie called for Henry, who appeared from the supply room behind the bar. "Henry, could you prepare a pot of tea for my guests? You remember Mademoiselle Kingston?" "I surely do. Good morning, miss." "Good morning, Henry." "I won't be but a minute. The kettle is already hot." He disappeared through the side door. Nellie and Pamela sat at the table off to the side. "Tell me, Pamela, why have you come here?" Pamela felt awkward, faced with explaining to Nellie exactly what she wanted to do. She blurted out, "Peter and I have been intimate for nearly a year." Nellie's eyes sparkled. "I suspected as much. I have not seen Monsieur Renard for quite some time." Pamela smiled, grateful for the opening. "Exactly right, Nellie. That's why I want to give him a special present for his birthday. Here we go, y'all." Did my music stop? Okay. Pamela smiled, grateful for the opening. "Exactly right, Nellie. And what do you want that to be?" "I want to be one of your girls for a night and receive him here as a birthday surprise." "Pamela, that's out of the question." Why should it be out of the question?" Nellie stood as though in dismissal. "The daughter of Sir George does not belong in a whorehouse." Pamela stood, blocking Nellie's exit. "If you will not do this as a personal favor, then let us make it a business transaction. I will pay you well for the use of one of your rooms for the night, with the understanding I only wish to receive Peter." Yeah, it's getting hot. I guess you're about to leave now, couch, cause you be out on these crazy parts. Nellie's eyes flashed fire. "Do not insult me, Pamela, and would ask the same courtesy from you. Papa found love in a whorehouse. Peter found friendship and comfort when he had nowhere to go. The roots of the family tree run deep. In this circumstance, the sins of my father have been laid at my feet. Peter would be livid if I agree to this. Yes, I am quite sure he will. That should make our night more lusciously memorable, don't you think? Nellie, smiling, visibly softened. Sitting back down, are you? You are a vixen, Mademoiselle Kingston. I know many gentlemen who would pay handsomely for an hour with a coquette such as you are. Pamela sat down. I am only interested in one gentleman. Perhaps it would be appropriate to request payment from him for the evening of entertainment. I am sure he has paid you well on his birthday for many years. Nellie laughed out loud. You know he comes here every year. That is what gave you this idea. My presence in his life is hardly a reason to break tradition. Now is it? Pamela, he has always needed a special woman in his life. God is good. He arranged a perfect match for my Mazor Renard. Peter is happier than he's ever been. He's whistling in the house, has become the source of great amusement to our staff. Nellie put her hand to her heart. Pardon? Mazor Renard whistles? Pamela winked coyly and replied, he does now. Again, Nellie laughed. You are delighted. Couch, nothing is going to happen now. We have to wait until Peter's birthday. So just stick in here for a little while, okay? Again, you are a delight. I see why he's enchanted. Your sorcery has made his head spin. Henry brought the tea. Setting the tray down on the bar, he poured a cup for each of them. He handed Pamela hers with a bow. When he gave Nellie her cup of tea, he asked, do you need anything else, ma petite child? Oh, God. Okay. No, Henry. Mercy. Henry left them alone, going back to his work in the supply room. Pamela smiled. Henry calls you his little cabbage. We have been together for many years. We have, shall we say, an understanding. What did Papa call you, Nellie? Mon amour. And Peter, only Nellie, nothing more. You need not concern yourself about that. Yeah, cause Couch be pulling out on the crazy parts, or should I say the erotic parts. Couch be out. Couch, you thought I didn't know that, my brother of another color. I know. I want you to know over the last months, I have thought of you often. Your letters have helped me understand Papa more than I ever did while he lived. I also have come to understand how you helped Peter through many dark nights. Thank you for that. You are a gracious woman, Pamela, saying these kind words to an old whore. I see beauty in you, Nellie, that I have seen little of elsewhere. I know Papa saw it too. That's why he loved you. Sir George respected me. This is what I hold in my heart. When we see each other again, I will tell him that he has a fine daughter. God willing, you will also tell him what fine grandchildren he has. Now that's a vision. Monsieur Renard, fathering Sir George Kingston heirs. I do not know if Monsieur would laugh or cry at the thought, nor do I. Perhaps a bit of both. Nellie studied her for a moment. Tell me, Pamela, that you do hope to accomplish. What do you hope to accomplish by doing this? Pamela spoke her mind to the experienced woman sitting beside her. With the years of intimate acquaintances you have together, you know Peter in a way I do not. I want to be what you are to him. My dear girl, he loves you and will soon marry you. It is your place. It is not your place to be what I am to him. Pamela flared. By God, yes it is. Once we are wed, I will not be regulated to mistress of the house. My mother to his children. He has been coming to you for this his pleasure for many years. If I am to be the one he comes to in the years ahead, I must learn the secrets you shared. Otherwise, he will come back to you or go to someone else. Pamela, you got a point, baby. Hi, Wolfie. Welcome in. I appreciate you. Pamela got a point. Pamela has a valid point. I'm going to hang out now for 2 hours. Thank you. I appreciate you, Couch, for hanging out with me for 2 hours. Or either just letting it play on the laptop. You want him to be faithful. Men take mistresses as a matter of course. Pamela stood and paced, obviously agitated. Nellie, you are aware I never knew my mom. Growing up alone with Papa, I always had a governess, supposedly to care for me. They never did. I spent my time in the kitchen with our cook while they earned their salary in Papa's bed. Sir George had a robust constitution before he became ill. His masculine needs had to be managed, which is why he came to me. Yes, I imagine that is true, which is why I intend to satisfy Peter's needs in his own bed. If he is to share the bed of our children's governess, I bloody well be there with him. Would you do that for him? Share the bed of another woman? Pamela answered without hesitation. Of course I would. Oh, y'all know. Mike, you already know. Oh, Pamela would love to share the bed with another woman. She might even hire somebody for that reason. Yes, I imagine that is true, which is why I intended to satisfy Peter's needs in his own bed. Would you do that for him? share his bed with another woman? Pamela answered without hesitation, "Of course I would. We have already done so in a fashion. Our maid is quite a handsome young woman." Nellie picked up the squirrel nutcracker sitting on the table and played with its tail. "Ma chérie, would you consider allowing me to the pleasure?" Pamela slowly sat down. "Would you do that?" "Mademoiselle, I am a whore. Certainly I would do that. The question is, would you?" Pamela answered without hesitation. Nellie picked up the squirrel nutcracker sitting on the table. Pamela quietly sat for several seconds. This unexpected excitement both excited and frightened her. "What would you do?" "Whatever you ask of me. It is my business to satisfy my clients," Nellie said. A smile tickled the corners of Pamela's mouth. "Peter would go mad having both of us there." Nellie patted Pamela's hand. "My petite, madness would be the least of it." "Then are you agreeing to what I have asked?" "It seems I am. Are you agreeing to what I have asked?" Pamela felt her face grow warm as she answered, "If you will be patient with my inexperience, I will welcome the liaison." "You do yourself a disservice, Pamela. If you have shared Peter Renner's bed for nearly a year, your experience is no doubt inevitable." Papa mentored Peter professionally, and as I know now personally, I would ask that you do the same for me in this unusual menage a trois. Have you ever told Peter what to do? Or is he usually in charge? I sometimes make requests, but he usually decides what we do. Why would you ask? I discovered some time ago that Mazor Renner enjoys a strong female hand. If he has never experienced that with you, I think it's time you may have to open the door. Would you help me? Of course, ma chérie. And Mazor Renner will no doubt compensate us generously. Pamela giggled. "Us? Your charms are not free if he receives them in my house." Pamela beamed. "Oh, Nellie, thank you. Might I ask how you will get him here?" "I can't imagine he will come willingly. He'll come if Jack tells him I'm already here." "You are a headstrong, impetuous, and as impetuous as your father. It is unfortunate. It is fortunate I have experience with your bloodline." Pamela rose to leave. "What time should I arrive on Saturday?" "Can you be here early before the evening clients arrive? Perhaps 3 o'clock?" "I can. Peter has already told me he has a meeting Saturday afternoon. I will tell him I have picked a place to meet him for his birthday, and Jack will fetch him there. Tres bien. That will give us time together to prepare. Nellie hugged her. If you should decide not to want to do this, Pamela, send word with your man Jack. Nellie, I wouldn't miss this night with Peter for all the tea in China. Then I look forward to meeting on Saturday. A bien tot. Au revoir, Nellie. Until Saturday. Au revoir. Pamela met Jack at the carriage. Miss Pamela, are you all right? Of course I am. I am ready to go back to Piccadilly now. Pamela waited for him to help her into the carriage. He did not move. Is something wrong, Jack? Miss, you've been in a bawdy house for the better part of an hour. I'm thinking I have a right to have a bad temper. Nellie and I just had a lovely visit. She has agreed to help me on Saturday. I need your promise that you will help me too, Jack. You will have to bring Peter here after his meeting on Saturday. Miss Pamela, this goes against the better sense. My better sense, it does. The mister will pop some blood vessels when he finds out what you have done. Jack, before the night is over, he will no doubt pop several. Peter stood in the usual spot waiting to bring around the carriage. For several days, Pamela had been acting oddly. Her chattering on incessantly about drivel and actually has become tedious. Every time he mentioned his birthday or what they might do on Saturday evening, she changed the subject. Jack also seemed on edge. Contrary to Pamela, Jack barely spoke to him. The morning Pamela announced she had a special birthday surprise planned, she said Jack would know where to meet her. Peter couldn't help but to wonder, what on earth could she be scheming? When Jack opened the back door for him, Peter noticed his serious expression. Before he got in, he inquired as to the reason. Jack, is there something wrong? You seem distressed. Sir, I can't really say. Miss Pamela swore me to secrecy. Jack's reluctance to speak to him finally fell into place. What is she doing, Jack? Something has you in a twist. Sir, Miss Pamela instructed me to take you to her. That's what I'm about to do. Trying to control his temper, Peter's hands rolled into fists. Jack, where are we going, Jack? He already knew the answer in his belly. Miss Nellie, sir. Cunting hell. Has she lost her bloody mind? Peter jumped into the cab. Take me there, Jack, as fast as that blasted horse can manage. Jack slammed the door. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. He hopped into the driver's seat, muttering, Happy birthday, sir. When Jack stopped in front of Nellie's, Peter leaped out of the cab. Jack stayed in the driver's seat, fully expecting Peter to drag Pamela out of the front door. Straight away. It took every bit of self-control Peter possessed to keep him from kicking the front door in. Putting his arms on the latch, he took a deep breath and reminded himself of his statue. He would not make a scene as long as Pamela agreed to leave quietly. Opening the door, he quickly surveyed the tavern. He did not see her among the seamen sitting at the tables drinking ale. He also did not see Nellie trying to draw attention to himself. He went up to the bar. Henry, where is she? Why, who, sir? Couch. Give it some time, Couch. We got about we got about two more paragraphs. You don't have to leave me. You could just turn the volume off on your laptop and just let it play. Peter ground his teeth together, his impatience nearly besting him. Miss Pamela Kingston, I understand from my man Jack. She asked to meet me here. Henry chuckled good-naturedly, further infuriating Peter. Oh, yes, of course. She is with Miss Nellie. Where? I believe in Miss Nellie's quarters, sir. With no other formality, Peter went through the side curtain and up the staircase. The door to Nellie's sitting room stood open. Nellie sat at the table sipping tea. He did not see Pamela. Bonjour, Monsieur Renard. I have been expecting you. Peter had no inclination to be polite. Where the bleeding devil is she, Nellie? I want her out of here now. That's up to Pamela. She's a grown woman. She can do as she pleases. Peter never struck a woman before in his life, but he found himself gripping the edge of the table to keep from backhanding her. Nellie, I will rip this place apart with my bare hands if you don't bring her up this instant. Peter Renard, you will do no such thing. Pamela's voice cut through him like a razor. There she stood in the doorway to Nellie's boudoir, wearing one of Nellie's red floral dressing gowns. Pamela, put on your clothes. We're leaving. No, Peter, we're not leaving. Either you put on your clothes now or I will carry you through the tavern dressed as you are. The blood pounded in his temples as he walked over to her. How will you have it, Pamela? I'm not leaving, Peter. He took hold of Pamela's arm and pulled her toward the door. She struggled but could not free herself. Nellie approached them, attempting to place herself between Pamela and Peter. Peter pushed her away, causing her to stumble backwards. Nellie grabbed the back of the chair to keep from falling. Gathering herself, she addressed Peter directly, the sharp edge of her voice slicing through the air. Peter, let her go. Peter stopped inside the door, glaring at Nellie. He said with icy resolve, I'm taking her home. She does not belong in this place. Pamela wrenched her arm free from Peter's grip. Before he could grab her again, he went back inside the room and stood beside Nellie. Peter came after her again. Nellie shouted, Peter, don't force her to leave. Pamela calmly put down her hand on Nellie's arm. All right, Nellie, I will handle this. With poise and sinuous beauty, Pamela turned her back on Peter's fury and quietly walked over to the settee. Sitting down, she patted the spot beside her. Come, Peter, sit. We must talk. Peter stared at her in disbelief. To see her sitting there in Nellie's dressing gown, so calm and confident, he would never guess They were on the verge of an ugly public display. Pamela, what in the name of God Almighty are you doing? Get dressed and we will leave. Pamela did not move, save for once again patting the settee cushion. We are not leaving until you sit here and we talk. Turning to Nellie, she added, Nellie, I don't believe Mazor Renner. Nellie, I do believe Mazor Renner could use a brandy. Certainly, ma chérie. Nellie went to the cupboard and poured a healthy dollop of brandy into a glass, handing it to Peter. She simply said, Mazor. Peter took the glass without thinking and sipped. Nellie smiled and nodded to Pamela. Once again, Pamela asked him to sit. This time he did. Pamela, you're reckless in doing this. This couch, you said ruh. Thank you. I see 8 people watching. Thank you to the cloud watchers. Can you please share to Discord? It's gonna get better. I'm not struggle because I don't struggle with anything. I have challenges. There's a difference. I'm challenge streaming right now. It's gonna get better. I'm gonna get me some drops. I'm gonna use my soundboard, make it more interesting. But thank you to all the people that's in the chat and those that are cloud watching. I really appreciate you. Y'all don't hear me when I said water, do you? Because that's not a good, that wouldn't be a good sound coming through the mic. Come, Peter, sit. We must talk. Hold on 1 second. Once again, the music today is music by 1000 Watts Radio. Tune in to 1000 Watts and Jay Tillman. We must talk. Peter stared in disbelief to see her sitting there in Nellie's dressing gown. Oh, don't say that. I think you're being funny. I think you're being funny, Mike. I'm gonna make sure I hit the mute button from now on. Hold on, I think I turned my page. Peter stared at her in disbelief to see her sitting there in Nellie's dressing gown, so calm and confident. He would never guess they were on the verge of an ugly public display. Pamela did not move, save for once again patting the settee cushion. Y'all know what a settee is. It's a couch. That's what they used to say back in the day. Settee instead of couch. Nellie smiled and nodded to Pamela. Once again, I asked him to sit. This time he did. Pamela, your recklessness in doing this is beyond anything you have ever done. Turn the page again. I swear to God, you have lost whatever good sense you had. Please let me take you home. Pamela put her hand on his leg. Peter, if it will calm you, just listen. Perhaps you will understand why I am giving you this gift on your birthday. You call this a gift? You truly have lost your wits. He sipped his brandy as Pamela lightly stroked his leg. In spite of himself, he felt his organs starting to thicken. Peter, you have been coming here for so many years. I want to know your experience here. So I may bring it into our bed at Piccadilly once we are married. What have you done here, Pamela? It is unsuitable for you. Why do you say that, my darling? We have done many things in the last year that most would think is improper. I fancy that what we do together. Peter glanced at Nellie, who stood off to the side. This is a bawdy house, Pam's. What goes on here could be crude and offensive and more distasteful than anything we have ever done. I do not want you to expose things. Have you found pleasure in any of the things you do not want me to know? Again, Peter glanced at Nellie. I do not know how to answer that, Pamela. The experiences men have in a bawdy house are not fit for the ears of a genteel woman. Well, booger me. Here I'm thinking all the times you fancied putting your fingers in my cunt, you wouldn't be calling me a lady anymore. Pamela looked at his glass of brandy and sipped it, trying not to smile at her insolence. Peter said sternly, I did not offer you that glass. Throwing her leg over, she added, then, Governor, won't you be buying a poor girl some gin? The dressing gown Pamela wore separated. Peter saw she had on a pair of cotton stockings that was held in place with black lacy garters. Most girls at Nellie wore these. He saw the top of what looked to be the black corset with gold embroidery. Pamela knew. He never knew Pamela wore a corset. She didn't like them. He remembered Nellie had one of this design in a special collection. Putting his hand on the top of the stocking, he asked her, what are you wearing underneath that gown? Captain, Pamela feigned indignation and wrapped the dressing gown tightly around herself. That's no question to be asking a lady. As she had done so many times before, she did it again. Pamela made Peter laugh. He took his glass back and drank his brandy. Nellie, could you give this lady some gin? She seems to be thirsty. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, couch. It's about that time. Y'all already know what Peter was going to do. Peter, Peter is so lustful. Y'all know good and well he was going to leave that bawdy house without doing what he wanted to do. As she had done so many times before, she did it again. Pamela made Peter laugh. He took his glass back and drank his brandy. Nellie, could you give the lady some gin? She seems to be thirsty. Nellie poured some gin in a glass and brought it, to Pamela. Monsieur, do you like my new girl? She's special for you tonight. As Pamela tasted her gin, Peter slid his hand further up her leg. It is difficult to know what I think of her. She won't let me see. Nellie stepped into her role as Madame, easily saying the words Peter had heard her say so many times before. Ma chérie, Mazor wishes to see. Show him how lovely you are. Obediently, Pamela stood in front of Peter. Yes, madame, as you wish. Handing Peter her glass, Pamela slowly untied the dressing gown and opened it. What she revealed to Peter took his breath and made his already hard cock throb. Pamela indeed had Nellie's corset on and nothing else to save for stockings. The bottom of the corset curved into a peak just above her womanhood. The chestnut curls he said cat time couch. Appeared to be an extension of the garment. Her breast spilled over the top, the lace barely covering her nipples. The delicate gold embroidery traced the line of her bosom, drawing her eyes to her voluptuousness. Nellie took Pamela's dressing gown off and tossed it over a chair. Turn around, Pamela. Allow Mazor to see your backside. So full, so soft, as it did in the front. The corset curved to a peak just above Pamela's bum cheek. Laces, no doubt, pulled tight by Nellie's strained across Pamela's back. Nellie caressed Pamela's bottom. She is quite beautiful, isn't she? Nellie startled Peter by giving Pamela's arse a hard slap. Uh-oh, Mike love. Here they go. As she said, go now, wait in the boudoir for Mazor Renner. Pamela quickly disappeared. Into Nellie's bedroom. Nellie stood directly in front of Peter. Lifting the side of her skirt, she tucked the hem into the belt of her dress, as whores do when they are working. Do you still want her to leave, Peter? She is doing this for you, so you will come to her for your needs and not someone like me. Peter bolted back the rest of Pamela's gin. Nellie, never have I been as satisfied here as I am with her. The whole escapade is unnecessary and unconscionable. What? You were wrong to agree to it. That, monsieur, is incorrect. You were wrong to refuse her of a gift. She is giving you a treasure, and you are spitting on it. Pointing to the bedroom door, he asked, if I go in there, and screw her in your bed. Will that satisfy both of you?" Nellie laughed, a sound that brought to mind the tinkling of a crystal chandelier. "Oh, Mazor, there is much more than a simple screw waiting for you in there. Come receive your birthday gift from your amour." The emotion swirling in Peter's belly reminded him of how he felt after eating tainted fish. Nonetheless, he followed. He heard her voice from inside the curtains of Nellie's French canopy bed. "Mazor, won't you join me?" He walked over and looked inside. It took him a moment to drink in the sight. There lay Pamela, surrounded by implements of a mattress, a paddle, a cane, and an exotic client. There were also several sizes of ivory flosses, a blindfold, and a piece of rope. As he took it all in, he murmured, "My God, Mazor, I would ask that you take off your clothes now." Turning to Nellie, he endured another shock. She had taken off her dress and stood behind him. Like Pamela, she wore only a corset and stockings. She held a brown leather strap, which he recognized. Over the years, he had paid her well to take that very strap to his backside. Lord. Couch, it's about to be 50 shades of gray up in there. Mike Love, you still here? "Peter, it's time." Pamela stood and took off his coat. Offering no resistance, he allowed her to unbutton his waistcoat and her shirt. Nellie finished the job of removing them. Looking to Nellie, Pamela asked, "Madam, should I remove his trousers or should you?" "You shall, ma chérie. Remember, do not touch. Mazor Reynolds knows the rules. There will be no touching until I allow it." "Yes, madam." Pamela knelt at Peter's feet and took off his shoes and stockings. When she undid his trousers, he groaned. Pamela stopped. "Ma petite, continue." "It is only the beginning of a bittersweet pleasure." Pamela removed Peter's trousers and pants, leaving him stark naked. His erect cock protruded painfully from his body. He knew Nellie would not allow him relief from his torment until she knew he could endure no more. He braced himself for exquisite torture, which he suspected would surely surpass anything he had ever known. "Pamela, tie Mazor's hand behind his back." "Yes, madam." From the bed, short length rope from the bed. She rope around his wrist, knotted it tightly, ma petite. Nellie walked around the front of Peter and looked him in the eye, but not so tight that his hands turned blue. When Pamela finished, she crawled back onto the bed. "I am ready, madam. Très bien." It is wise to tie his hands so he cannot touch. When he sees you and your pleasure, he will ache for his release. Nellie unexpectedly swung the strap It cracked against Peter's arse. He flinched and muttered, "You cunning bitch. Pardon, Mazor. I didn't hear you. Say it louder." The leather again connected with Peter's backside. He groaned, glaring at her. He hissed through clenched teeth, "You cunning bitch. Mercy, now turn and face Pamela." He could hardly fathom doing this. Hold on, I gotta plug up my laptop. To be humiliated by a whore in full view of Pamela nearly drove him mad. Yet something inside him yearned for more. With his arse still stinging, he turned to see Pamela on the bed with her legs spread wide. As he watched, she picked up an ivory phallus of medium size, slightly smaller than his erect prick. Pamela asked permission to touch. "Madame Mazor Renner likes to watch. May I please frig myself for his pleasure?" "Of course you may, ma chérie, but only if you watch his cock while you do so. If you close your eyes, you will be punished." Pamela focused on Peter's cock. After sliding the phallus over her clitoris to coat it with moisture, she inserted it into her cunt. Peter watched, mesmerized by the sight of Pamela frigging herself. She sustained her focus well through the first few minutes, staring at his prick, which bobbed from his groin. He watched her face and noticed her eyelids start to flutter. "Pams, keep your eyes open." As soon as he said these words, Nellie strapped him. "You are not to help her. She will learn discipline here. These lessons will serve you both well in your marriage bed." With the phallus fully embedded in her cunt, Pamela rasped out the question, "Madam, shall I continue?" "Oe," Nellie barked the command. And Pamela continued, keeping her eyes wide, her arousal increasing with every stroke. Peter could see Pamela struggling to sustain the momentum. With her eyes open, always with her climax, she closed her eyes. He wanted to give her relief, but knew any attempts would sustain the agony they must both endure. Suddenly, Nellie barked, "Enough!" Pamela pulled the phallus out of her cunt, and with an audible pop, her scent filled his nostrils. As she laid with the sticky tool on the bed, "You have done well, ma petite. Now Mazor Renner kneel beside your armoire, the armoire on the bed. Try to keep his balance as not to fall flat on the bed." Peter knelt beside Pamela. "Mazor has seen all he shall see this night. Put on the blindfold, Pamela." Pamela did as Nellie instructed. "Mademoiselle Kingston, you are now in charge. I give you Mazor Renner with my blessing and my heart. Thank you, madam. A few moments later, Peter heard the bedroom door close. Peter felt Pamela move across the bed. He sensed a change in her demeanor, but could not see anything. He assumed Nellie had left them alone and that he could now behave normally. Pamela, what are you doing? Hush, Peter. You do not have permission to speak. Pamela, before he could finish his question, the sharp stroke of the cane creased his flesh. Peter, I said hush. His cock threatened to explode with the realization Pamela had delivered the stroke. Lie on your belly. Peter hesitated. The only way he could lie on his belly was to fall face forward on the bed. The cane once again slashed his arse. In a voice he never heard before, Pamela used before, she growled, I said lie down, do it. With the sensation of falling off a cliff, Peter fell forward, hit the bed with his chest, nearly knocking the wind out of himself. His cock bent painfully to the side. She shifted his weight to ease the pressure on his prick. Before he could gather his wits, he heard Pamela say, I will give you a choice. What would you like? The paddle or the martinet? He knew what he wanted. Nellie only used the martinet on him for his birthday, saying the thrill of it would be savored only for once a year. He knew with certainty that was why she gave it to Pamela, knowing him the choice of receiving it at her hand. Turning his face in the direction of her voice, he answered Pamela as he would have Nellie. Mademoiselle, for allowing me to choose the martinet. What with the first stroke, he knew Nellie taught Pamela well. The leather lashes bit into his rump as they had in Nellie's hand. Pamela brought the tails down again with equal force. None the least bit squeamish about flogging him, her zeal for his punishment increased with each stroke. He heard her grunt softly with effort every time she lashed him. 1 10 stroke, she stopped. On the 10th stroke, she stopped. Peter's sensual delirium had fogged his mind. He thought he felt Pamela untying him. He knew it wasn't his imagination when she said, Mazor Renner, I'm untying you. But you must not touch. Madam is very strict. If you touch, the game we playing ends. Then he felt Pamela pushing at his shoulder, trying to roll him over. He shifted his weight as he pushed and rolled onto the back. He clenched the bed covers in his fist to keep from touching. He knew Nellie had instructed Pamela to obey the rules. If he touched himself or he touched her, she would leave. When he felt Pamela straddle him, he begged her, sweet Jesus, allow me to spin. He gritted his teeth as she covered his organ with a sheath. Her hands on him made him ache beyond endurance. The exquisite sensation of feeling her wet cunt swallow his cock brought him close to tears. He could not contain the joy at first, finally receiving his award. Merciful God in heaven, yes, merci, mademoiselle. Pamela pulled his blindfold off. She lowered the corset, fully exposing her breast. Her nipples hung ripe and hard, close to his face as she bounced on his prick. Her face contorted as her climax grew in her belly. With utter abandon, she rolled his cock, crying. As she pressed down hard on his organ, her body shook, the power of it moving into his groaning. The scalding heat of the climax moved into her. He echoed her cry. That's it. Next is chapter 18. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, as explicit as I thought it was going to be. Couch, if you're still here. And Mike Love. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. It's been an hour. Do y'all want me to read chapter 18? Y'all want me to keep going? Or are you ready for me to stop? It's 4 o'clock. You want me to continue? It says 5 people here. I know Couch probably went somewhere because he ain't gonna listen to this for too long. We almost done though. We got what? 50 something more pages. Hold on a second. Hold on, Creakery. Chapter 18. Let's see how long pages. No, it's 5 people in here. It's showing 5 people, Cree. I was just trying to see how long, I was just seeing how long, chapter 18 was. Because we've been out here, what, an hour? Couch, thank you for staying. What you saying? Keep going? Read chapter 18? Chapter 19. We just did 18, I think. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I'll read the next chapter. Let me go back to the beginning of it. Yeah, it's 6 people in here now. Cree, did you share it to Discord? Yeah, this. Hold on. I don't know. I have to get I did another Discord. I don't know what's going on with the other one. It won't let me in. But I have to it's 6 people. Thank you whoever just showed up. But what you gotta show me, Cree, is where do you go to turn to turn it to you're not on you're not on that short. Couch, you gotta get you a that short. You gotta get you a that short, Couch. Okay. Yeah, it's not hard to sign up for it, but I'm gonna have to I asked Chelsea to share my new Discord that I made, but only 2 people in it, just Project Leroy and Chelsea. Those are the only 2 people on my new Discord. I have to get I want to get into my old one because it's a lot of people in my old one. Okay, here we go with chapter 18. Pamela studied the volumes of papers on Peter's desk. As she worked to close the ledgers for the year, she had been poring over the books for a month now. Hold on, let me adjust my headset. I got a headache. And I'm scared when I have these headaches. I think it might be my because I don't have headaches. Let's see. You still there, Mike Love? Mike Love, are you gone? Hold on. Yes, Discord is an app. It's an app, and you can post stuff to it. Coop, he do movie. We have movie nights with Coop in it, and you don't get flagged in Discord. You can post just like you do, I guess, on YouTube. And then when you post on YouTube, like people come over to your YouTube page through somebody posting something on Discord. I think because I really did enjoy it, because you might not get because YouTube be blackballing when it comes to the notifications. So you might not get the notification through YouTube, but when somebody posts it in Discord and you look at it, you get you'll see the notification. And then Couch, it's not public. It'll just be whatever the conversation is, it'll just be between you and the members of your Discord. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. Chapter 18. Peter already got his birthday present. It wasn't as erotic as I thought it was gonna be. It was an okay birthday present for Pamela, because Pamela be going. Y'all know Pamela be going. Pamela on another level to me. Okay, Pamela studied the volumes of papers on Peter's desk as she worked to close the ledgers for the year. She had been poring over the books for a few months now. Since the day after the Epiphany, Peter usually didn't, working on her accounts along with his own during the evenings. This year, he agreed to let her give it a go. Thank you, Mike Love, too, for still being here. And anybody that's still here, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Not only did she want to learn how to manage her house, her holdings, but she wanted time with Peter at night. She volunteered to review the ledgers and balance them during the day. Much to her surprise, he turned the project over to her. He would answer her questions, but he did not interfere with her labors. His attitude towards her had changed since his birthday. The bond between them had deepened. Not only had their intimacies intensified, but their conversations and their closeness had as well. Over dinner, he would discuss points of law. If some things were troubling him from his day, he would ask her advice. Having discovered her reading his legal journals one day, he inquired about her interests. When he realized she harbored a secret desire to study law, he tutored her. The February wind rattled the library windows. Feeling a drought, she wrapped her shawl around her shoulders. The fire burned low and the library had a chill. It would be dinner hour soon, but she still got up to throw another log on the fire. Jack had left some time ago to fetch Peter. They should come home soon. Pamela turned up the gas in the lamp, her eyes wanting to focus on the small figures in the letter. As she studied the transactions for November, she heard Peter calling her. Pamela, where the devil are you, Pamela? Knowing Peter never shouted in the house, she ran out of the library to find him standing at the bottom of the staircase. What on earth are you shouting about? Is something wrong? There you are, bloody hell. I thought you were dressing for dinner. Jack stood inside the door, not able to contain his smile. You're both grinning like Cheshire cats. May and Lucy appeared in the dining room door. What is all the commotion? Did someone die? Dear May, no one has died. Having said that, Peter laughed so hard he nearly snorted. Regaining his composure, he corrected himself. Actually, that's not true. Someone did die. Totally mystified by Peter's uncharacteristic behavior, Pamela asked, Have you been drinking, Peter Renner? You appear as drunk as a sailor. Hey Chelsea, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you. Peter came to her and blew his breath right in her face. Pamela blinked with the rush of warm air. Hit her, already burning her eyes. You see, I have not had a drop, my beautiful Pamela Kingston. Or perhaps I should call you what you will soon be known as Countess Stanford. Aren't you making any sense? Have you gone barmy? Oh no, my sweet. I have just had the shock of my life. I am an earl. You are what? An earl? I received the letters patent, and the writ of summons this afternoon. Peter, how is this possible? You are not of the peerage. Oh, yes, I am. According to the letters patent informing me of my title, my great great grandfather was the second Duke of Dorset. The current Duke of Dorset died several months ago, leaving no heirs. Before they considered the title extinct, the solicitors researched the lineage to find any remaining male heirs. And they found me. They delivered the documents this afternoon. I am the heir to the Duke's lesser title, Earl of Sanford. Peter, this is astonishing. Jack handed me the envelope. Jack picked up a large envelope Peter had left on the vestibule table. Take a look at this. Pamela opened the envelope and took out a piece of parchment with the royal seal. What is this? It is a writ of summons. Read it. What Pamela read made her weak in the knees. Her Majesty Queen Victoria, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom, of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of the other realms of territories, Queen, head of the Commonwealth, defender of faith, to our right trusty and well-beloved Earl of Stanford, Cavalier, greetings. Whereas our Parliament endures an urgent affair concerning the state and defense of our United Kingdom, and the Church is now met at our city of Westminster, we strictly enjoining command you upon the faith and allegiance by which you are bound to us, that the weightness of the said affairs and imminent perils considered, waiving all excuses, you be at the said day and place personally present us, and with the prelates, great men and peers, to treat and give your counsel upon affairs aforesaid, and this as you regard us, our honor and the safety and defense of the said kingdom and church, and dispatch of the said affairs. In no wise you did omit witness of ourselves at Westminster, the 15th day of February, in the 45th year of our reign. Oh, Lord Jesus. I just need to catch my breath. Hold on for a minute. Mike, that's good, Mike Love. You know what's happening? They're busting and they're eliminating all of the people that are driving trucks illegally. So now, I guess it's picking up for the people that have legally obtained their CDLs. So now, I guess you have to work like a Hebrew slave for a while, but just get it while it's hot, brother. I pray you're covering over over your truck to all the truck drivers. Peter asked her, "Do you understand what it says?" Pamela read it again to make sure she understood. "It is a summons to appear in the house of the Lord's, isn't it?" "Yes, it is, indeed. The seat of Duke Dorset has been inherited by the successor, the Earl of Stamford, namely me. The Queen has called me to service with that writ. I will be introduced to take my oath of allegiance to the Queen on next Tuesday. By all that's holy, this is the manna from heaven. Peter, it is enormous." "Oh, yes, Peter, it is certainly." Peter took the writ from her hands and handed it to Lucy. Taking Pamela in his arms, he held her tightly against him. "Sir George is winking at you right now. Do you know that?" Pamela smiled. "Is that a fact, my lord?" "Oh, yes, my lady, it is. His daughter will marry into a peerage." Pamela's eyes grew wide. "Oh, my word." She pushed Peter away. "What? You look as though you've seen Sir George's ghost over my shoulder." "Perhaps I have." "Peter, will you be able to vote on the Married Women's Property Act next month?" "You will be able to support it as a member of Parliament." Hold on, y'all. Mike, I gotta figure out how to make you when this is over, could you say something after the live in the comments, and then I could make you a moderator that way, because I can't do it right now. And Chelsea. See, I don't mess my place. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, thank you. Oh, I didn't know Chelsea was live earlier. That's what I mean about blackballing. Pamela's eyes grew wide. My word, she pushed Peter away. "You look as... Yes, perhaps I did." Peter looked up at the ceiling and said, "Sir George, you certainly are determined to get her married. I'll say that." No one said anything for a moment. The indefinite postponement of the wedding rarely being mentioned, May broke silence with a well-timed pronouncement. "Here, we all are standing around like a flock of chickens. Earl or not, you still have to eat." May know how to May is a killjoy, a stick in the mud. If I don't get back to it, you'll be celebrating with a burnt roast. She went back to the kitchen. Lucy handed Peter the parchment he had given her to hold and followed May. Master Renard, the carriage needs tending. I best be getting to it. Of course, Jack. With that, Jack went out the front door, leaving Peter and Pamela alone in the vestibule. Peter again took her in his arms. It occurred to me in the carriage why I am so happy about this. Pamela touched his nose with her fingertip. It did. Please tell me. I had you at Piccadilly waiting to share the news with me. If that weren't the case, I doubt the manna would be nearly as sweet. Peter, it is truly wonderful news. You are already an influential man. With a seat in the House of the Lords, your prominence will only grow. There is something I wish to discuss with you, Pams. Come, my lady, let us sit in the library until Lucy calls us for dinner. He took her arm and led her through the library door. Together they sat by the fire. The log Pamela had thrown on the fire blazed brightly. The room certainly is warmer now. I took a chill sitting here today. Pointing to the window, she added, Jack may need to replace that window. It is terribly draughty. When I work in here, I will have him look at it tomorrow. Peter's mood has shifted. Pamela, I want to discuss our wedding. Peter, we have been through this so many times. I know we have. But you, too, realize we are approaching the end of a waiting, one way or another. Meaning the vote for the Property Act is next month. You know I will continue to work for its passage now more than ever. But we have to be realistic about this. It may not become law. Pamela stood and went to Peter's desk. I have nearly finished the ledgers. I am up to November and should be able to close the books for next year by week's end. You are quite capable. I knew you could manage it. Peter, this is unfair. Pamela's already watery eyes filled with tears. I understand my holdings and should be able to legally manage them. It is my right. She ran her hand over the ledger pages. I shouldn't have to choose between you and my inheritance. Peter came behind her and wrapped his arm around her shoulders. And if you do have to choose, lifting his hand to her lip, she kissed his palm. We can't continue living as if we have been for nearly 2 years. Pamela turned to face him. I want to have children with you and a normal life. I want to share your bed every night, not keep separate rooms as we are now. If the law does not pass, I will still marry you. My darling Pams, you know you will still manage your inheritance. No matter what the law dictates, I will honor your decisions on matters that concern your inheritance. You are an honorable man, Peter Renard. I know you mean what you say, but what if our daughters and their right to what we give to them? Not all men are as honorable as you. Pamela laid her head on Peter's chest. It is all so very wrong. It has to change. And it will, Pamela. If not now, soon. You don't think the law will pass, do you? It is impossible to know. The debates have not gone on longer than anyone thought. The convictions are strong on both sides. It will help that the Prime Minister supports the passage, but many conservatives are opposed. Will your voice makes the difference? It might if they give me the floor in my first week as a member. You have a reason for speaking up. I think you'll get their attention. I expect that I will. I'll have a month to the day. That vote is scheduled for the ideas of March. During the interviewing weeks, Peter's schedule changed. In order to accommodate his new responsibilities in the House of Lords, he left Piccadilly early and returned later. He assured Pamela that the long hours were only temporary until he established a daily routine and balanced his responsibilities. Pamela missed him terribly. The days she had to dine alone, preferring the kitchen and maid's company to the empty dining room. They had more visitors calling. Pamela forfeited more than one weekend of tea with Peter and colleagues and well wishers. There were more also invitations to social events, all of which were addressed singularly to Peter. As far as the world knew, he remained unmarried and uncommitted. Many of the invitations came from well placed families with unwed daughters. Peter declined all but a few, but had to attend some for the sake of appearances. It became apparent to her that they would have to announce their engagement soon. If Peter continued to avoid socializing, curiosity about their living arrangement would surely fuel more rumors. Not to mention that the thought of Peter escorting one of those husband hunting prigs during a dinner party made her jealous as a barbary pigeon. The morning of March 14th, Pamela saw Peter just before he left Piccadilly. She came up behind him and put on his coat to leave. Adjusting the collar of his coat, she reminded him to stay warm. It's terribly cold today, Peter and Wendy. Wrap your scarf around your neck so you don't catch your death. You worry too much. He turned around and hugged her tightly. You realize, of course, it is indecent for you to be downstairs in your dressing gown. Had I stopped to dress, I would have missed you. Good heavens, Peter. It's only 6:30. I would have work I have work to do before today's session. I am to take the floor today to speak in favor of the vote tomorrow. I must be clear as what I will say. Do you think they will permit you to speak? Fortunately, Pamela, I have many years of court experience that most of these chaps do not. I am able to hold an audience when there is a reason to do so. Thank you, my darling, for being my champion. Now I understand how ladies of years past felt seeing their knights joust for their hands. Is that what I'm doing? I thought I'm simply arguing for a passage of law, a law that will give me freedom. Dear God, it has to pass. There are signs the tide may be turning. I must leave now, Pams. I will see you this evening. Late, I suppose. Most probably. By the looks of it, the weather will be unforgiving today. I suggest you also stay warm and close to the fire. Yes, my lord. Pamela kissed him and then backed away. With an elegant curtsy, she said, I bid you until eventide. Peter smiled. My lady, you give me ample reason to make my way home as soon as I'm able. Wrapping his scarf around his neck tightly, he left for the day. Pamela spent her day distracting herself. She made sure new ledgers were current. She knitted, she played the piano. When the dinner hour approached and there was still no sign of Peter, she wandered into the kitchen. May, it looks as though I will be eating alone again. I figured as much, Missy. He told me this morning not to expect him. He did? Said he would be courting votes this evening, whatever that means. Pamela smiled. I know what it means. Walking over to the stove, she asked, What are you cooking? It smells delicious. I made you some chicken and dumplings, figuring one of your favorites would get you to eat. I don't want you fainting on me. May, I haven't fainted for a very long time. Once was all I needed. She took the spoon at Pamela. You shortened my life by 5 years that day. I can't afford another 5 if I'm going to live to see you married. Pamela hugs her. Do you know I love you? Then you won't mind me asking when the blue blazes. You and the mister are planning your wedding. She glanced at Pamela's belly. I don't want no little ones coming until you have a ring on your finger. We haven't set a date yet, but I promise you it will be soon. She tugged at May's dress the way she did as a small girl when she wanted a favor. What you be wanting? If I want a June wedding, will you help me plan it? Lord have mercy, child. May wiped her hands on the apron and then practically smothered Pamela's in her arm. I've been waiting for almost 2 years to hear that. Pamela pulled her back just enough to say, May, I can't breathe. Loosening her arms but still holding Pamela, May laughed. The mister wouldn't be too happy with me if I choked you, now would he? Getting her breath back, Pamela concurred. I think he might be a bit cross with you, to be sure. Now, why on earth would you want me to help you plan your wedding? You should be doing it with someone who knows more about things than I do. You're the only mom I ever known. I don't give a flying fig what you do, what you know or don't know about it. I want to do it with you. You watch your language, dearie. A countess better not be heard cussing. Flying fig is not cussing. Flying frig is. Pamela saw her smile just before May spun around and swatted her bum. You're gonna have to start acting like a lady. The mister will expect you to conduct yourself properly when at entertaining royalty. I will be entertaining, won't I? The thought surprised Pamela. She hadn't considered the social implications of her marriage to Peter. You surely will, and I'll be cooking for your parties. May went back to the stove to make Pamela a plate. Pamela heard a mutter. Maybe I should be asking for more wages. After dinner, Pamela went to her room. The wind still howled outside, rattling the windows. Shivering in the draft, Pamela quickly changed into her dressing gown, and crawled under the quilt. She decided to read while waiting for Peter to come home. So she picked up a book from her night table. She snuggled under the downy warmth. After only a few minutes of reading, the book slipped from her hands and she fell asleep. Pamela woke to start. Rubbing her eyes to make them focus, she tried to see the clock. She sat straight up in bed when she realized it read 12:30. As the sleepy fog lifted, she saw the gas light had been dim and her book lay closed on her night table. She had a vague recollection of having a dream about Peter. In the dream, he kissed her. Only then did she gasp. He had been in her room and kissed her good night. Throwing off the quilt, she climbed out of bed. When her bare feet touched the cold wooden floor, goose flesh rippled through her legs. She lifted the chimney on the oil lamp, lit it, and adjusted the wick. Carrying the small lamp, she quietly made her way into the hall and went to the toilet. On her way back to her room, she stopped for a moment outside Peter's door, wanting much to go inside. Not wanting to disturb him, she went back to her own room. With the vote due in only a few hours, Peter would no doubt leave at dawn as he had today. She needed to rest. The door creaked when she came back to her room. She made no other sound. Cupping her hand over the chimney, she blew out the lamp. The gas light flickered softly. She decided to keep it on. If she hoped to see Peter before he left, she would have to get up before dawn. She slipped back into bed, shivering, staring at the shadows of the gas light made it on the ceiling. She thought of Peter. She couldn't imagine man without him. No matter what the vote tomorrow, she would marry him. Excuse me. Her life would be good no matter what happened. Squeezing her eyes shut to keep the tears in, she pushed away the terrible sinking feeling in her stomach at the thought of forfeiting her inheritance. She whispered a quiet prayer just as the door opened. Pam's Peter's voice startled her. Peter, she sat up. What's wrong? He closed the door. Nothing's wrong. I heard you were awake. I wanted to see you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you. You did. It was not easy. It was not an easy night's sleep. What with the wind shaking the house and the vote tomorrow. Pamela lifted her quilt. You'll catch your death Come get warm with me. Peter came across the room to her bedside. If I get under the quilt with you, I would expect to get quite warm. What do you mean? If I get under that quilt, you are going to do what? If I get under that quilt, what are you going to do? Stand there looking at me and freeze? You have a point, my beautiful one. Peter laid beside her. Pamela threw the quilt over him and cuddled close. I don't want to sleep alone anymore. I want to do this every night. As I do, Pamela, putting his arm around her, he nuzzled her hair. Dear God in heaven, I never knew I could love a woman as I love you. Then he kissed her, clenching her hair in his hands. Breathing the words into his mouth, Pamela pleaded with him. Peter, please let me move into your room now. I can't stand this any longer. I want to be in your bed every night. You will be, Pamela, once we are married. We agreed we would wait until we married to share a bed. Otherwise, May surely would leave our employ. Pamela took a deep breath and exhaled. The 15th of June. What did you say? I said the 15th of June. That will be our wedding day. Even if the bill doesn't pass tomorrow. Even then, I can't live as we are anymore. I want to be your wife, as I want to be your husband. We will start planning the wedding tomorrow. Tonight, there are better things to do. Peter Renner, you need to sleep. Pamela Kingston, soon to be Lady Stanford, having you under me will be far more rejuvenating than a full night's sleep. He tried to pull up her skirt. What in the devil are you doing in the bed with your dressing gown on? It has been terribly chilly in here with the wind hitting the sides of the house. I'm trying to stay warm. I will wager you a honeymoon in Paris that I can warm you without you wearing a stitch of clothing. As he spoke, Peter untied the sash, on her dressing gown. And if I catch my death letting you undress me, you may book passage to anywhere else you might want to go on a honeymoon. Pamela laughed as she slipped her arms out of her dressing gown. You dodger, you know very well that Paris is where I will want to go. Then we both stand to win the wager, now don't we? Peter massaged Pamela's breast through her nightdress. Take off everything. You'll be warm under the quilt. Pamela reached down and caressed his hard cock. I see you are ready. You're already quite warm. If you aren't going to take off your clothes, then I have to resort to extreme measures. Peter lifted the quilt and disappeared underneath. Hold on. Okay, y'all stand by. I'm back. Thank y'all very much. Pamela felt him sliding down the length of her bed. What in the bloody hell are you doing? You'll suffocate under there. Even with his voice muffled by the bedding, Pamela heard him say, I couldn't ask for a better end. She felt him push her nightdress up to her waist as he crawled between her legs, spreading her legs wide. He found the opening of her drawers. When his mouth touched her, she gasped. with intensity that rivaled the wind blowing outside, he sucked her. Not knowing how he would possibly breathe under the quilt, she threw it off. Peter immediately slid both hands under her bum and held her even tighter against his mouth. She raked her nails through his hair, wanting to somehow touch him while he licked her. The burning in her groin moved through her belly to her chest. She thought surely her heart would burst with the feeling she had for this man. Just as he devoured her womanhood, he consumed her soul. Her girlhood crushed on Peter had grown into a deep and abiding love for the man she would soon marry. Not being able to stand another moment of torture, she filled her fist with his hair and yanked. When he lifted his head on top to stop her, she slipped out from under him. With brazen immodesty, she knelt in front of him and pulled her nightdress over her head. He also rose to his knees and took off his pajama top, as if in a sacred ritual. They knelt facing each other on the bed. As Pamela lowered her drawers, so did Peter lower his pajama bottoms. Pams, get me a sheath from your drawer. She opened the drawer of her night table and took out the tin of shields Peter had given her to keep there. She took one and came to him. Before putting the cover on his stiff prick, Pamela leaned over and kissed the tip, licking off the drop of dew that had formed on the end. With delicate tenderness, she wrapped his cock in the sack and tied the string. Before laying down, she embraced him. Peter, no matter what happens tomorrow, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I love you. Peter gently lowered her head to the bed. My darling Pams, I also want to spend my life with you. Opening her legs, Pamela accepted Peter into her body. Pamela mentioned for Peter to follow her into the alleyway. Motion besides Nellie. Out of sight on the busy street. Pamela motioned for Peter to follow her into the alleyway besides Nellie's. Out of sight of the busy street, she took his genitals into her hand and fondled him. He tried to open her dress so he could touch her breast. He tried to open but he seemed to manage the buttons and stud his trousers open of their own accord. She knelt in the dark passageway and took his prick in her mouth. He murmured, "Why are we here? Shouldn't we be home?" "Peter, darling, we are home. You're dreaming." He opened his eyes. Pamela lay beside him, caressing his genitals as she had in the dream. He had his hand on her breast, still in a sleepy haze. Peter muttered, "What are you doing in here, Pam?" She leaned over and whispered, "Enjoying you." Then she licked his ear. Now more awake than asleep, he still feigned sleepiness. Enjoying me? Enjoying every bit of you." She kissed his neck, making a trail of kisses to his throat. She kissed the dent between his Adam's apple and the top of his collarbone. Then she unbuttoned his pajamas and rubbed her face and his chest hair. Peter tucked the blanket around her so she wouldn't get chilled. The wind gusting the entire day had chilled the whole house. The warmth of her body and the feel of her next to him made him long for the day when she would share this room. "Pam?" She looked up at him and asked, "Are you awake now?" He wrapped her arms around her. "I thought you were a lovely dream. Now that I'm awake, I see you really are a lovely dream. Had you not become a barrister, you could have been a poet." Pamela Kingston. You are the poetry in my soul. No one else in my life inspires me the way you do. You are certainly the love of my life. Peter Renner, do you realize I will soon be Pamela Renner? Actually, you will soon be Lady Stanford. Pamela reached down and continued to fondle him. The sensation of her hand on him made him ache with wanting her in his bed, as always. "Pams, shall we set the date right now?" "Peter, the vote isn't until tomorrow. Even if it doesn't go our way, you said you would still marry me." Peter felt her deeply inhale. "Yes, I did." "You are quite right. We should set a date." The 15th of June, then. If the bill passes tomorrow, the royal asset should be given by the end of May. The law will begin the first day of June. The 15th of June. I told May just today that we might marry in June. Perhaps we will honeymoon in Paris. If you care to, yes indeed, we can honeymoon in Paris. Pamela snuggled close to his ear and whispered, "Might I share the master bed before then?" As tempting as the suggestion might have been to him, Peter held firm. "No, Pamela." May made it quite clear she would leave if we shared a marriage bed before we were wed. "I know you do not want that." "No, I do not want her to leave." "You are quite correct. I will simply have to visit more often than until then." "Indeed. And what will you do on these midnight liaisons? Shall I show you? Should I leave a few shillings on your pillow when you finish? If you wish, although I would think I am worth more than a few shillings." Peter could attest to the fact that she certainly would be a wealthy courtesan. But when she became Randy, as she appeared to be tonight, he fancied her as one of Nelly's girls. I'll pay you an extra shilling or two if you treat me well. Is that a fact, Governor? I'm more than that. I'm worth more than that. I am. A wealthy gentleman such as yourself should be paying a girl what she is worth. He should. If he don't, he ain't no gentleman. He's not a gentleman at all. Peter's already stiff prick twitched against his belly as Pamela assumed her trollop persona. She had developed quite a talent for mimicking street whores. Every time she played this game with him, he knew she would immerse herself in it. He responded in kind. He relished this freedom to the course. Talk is cheap, my dear. If you wish to be well paid, you have to earn it. And that I will, Captain. You'll see you picked yourself a right one. You did. I don't believe you are as ripe as you say. Tell me something right so that I will believe you. Oh, go on with you. I know you're wanting me to pull at you so you can cream in my hand. Pamela loosened the tie on his pajama bottom and pushed her hand inside. When her fingertips touched his stiff cock, a guttural sound gurgled in his throat. If you want to be paid well, you best be showing me your boobies. A trollop not allowing me to see your boobies will never get more than a shilling from me. Well, Captain, why didn't you tell me you fancy my boobs? Pamela untied her dressing gown and undid the button on the nightdress. Pulling her nightclothes open, she fully displayed her bare boobies. Nice ones, aren't they, Captain? Peter filled his hand with one of her mounds. Oh, yes, my dear. They are fine ones indeed. Might you fancy sucking my boobies, Governor? Peter moved to take her hard nipple in his mouth. Pamela put her hand on his head and held him back. Sucking my boobies will cost you 2 shillings more. Talk like you can't afford to pay a working girl her due. Peter had to stifle back a chuckle. She had never used that line on him before. Keeping on his role as a gentleman, he retorted, my dear, I will decide what payment you are due. I don't give it away, Governor. You best not forget that. I assure you, miss, I will not forget it. With his prick throbbing, she took a scarlet bud into his mouth. She lay quietly, letting him suckle and knead her boobies. When he licked the underside of her breast, her salty perfume filled his nose. He adored the scent, a mix of her ambrosial skin and rose water. She interrupted him. Now, don't you think I'll stay here letting you lick my boobies all night? What's your pleasure, Governor? Will you be spending in my hand? Pamela nodded towards the clock on the night table. He had only a few hours to sleep before having to leave to prepare for his vote. She knew his habits well. He could spend hours playing this game, hours better spent on this night sleeping. I'll spin in your hand while I feel your cunt. You are a filthy one, are you? Wanting to touch me up? Pamela snuggled in close beside him and pulled her nightdress up. He pulled the quilt up so they were covered to their necks. They lay side by side, frigging each other until they fell asleep. That's it for today. We are on chapter 19. Hey, we'll be back. Thank you guys for staying a whole 2 hours. I want to say shout out to From the Black Couch, Go Cree Cree, Wolfpack Maine, Ty Pro, Jay Tillman, thank you, brother, for the music. Death Reaper, thank you for staying. I want to say thank all who listen from the cloud. I appreciate you guys hitting that like button. Please go Cree Cree and Chelsea, Mike Love. Please comment when the live is through. You know what I have to do. And I will see you guys a little later. Mike Love, I'm going to try to get up tonight. So I'm going to try to stay up so that we could read a few chapters tonight. And we are out. Peace and blessings. Have a wonderful day until we meet again, everyone. Remember, life is good. You're breathing. Live it. We could only have bad moments, but we could never have a bad day. Never let your day, somebody ruin or something ruin your whole entire day. And I'm out.